Hi guys, so if you followed my channel for a while now, you'll know I absolutely love orcs. Yeah, I can't get enough of these guys. And the main place I go to get my orcs is Mr. Modulorc. I'll leave a link down below to where you can go and see his awesome sculpts. But as you can see, yeah, an absolute ton of great looking orcs, variety of poses and sizes and all the rest of it. And the great thing is, it's very modular. So all the bits you can sort of interchange and make exactly what you want. And you may have seen recent videos, I made some oversized orcs and then painted them in the cartoon style. Absolutely love how these came out and love the fact that they are, well, big and chunky. But as well as obviously doing lovely miniatures and sort of people or orcs and goblins, also does a great array of vehicles. And again, very modular. So you can print out parts that you want and make these things, well, you can kit bash them pretty much. So I really fancied doing a big buggy and stick it on an RC car that I've got. And that's exactly what I'm doing in this video. So the first thing I did was took everything into Tinkercad. Main reason for this is to obviously scale things up, but more importantly, I wanted to clear out a lot of stuff that's on the inside. And with Tinkercad, obviously you can, you can cut bits away real easy. So that's exactly what I've done here. I've taken bits in, cut bits out. The only problem is the file size. You can only take file size up to 25 megabytes. So some of these files were bigger than that. So as you can see, I've kind of had to chop bits up to import them into Tinkercad for me to then be able to, well, cut bits out, rearrange them, and say change the sizes. As you'll notice, this car is a bit squat looking, as in the front is the same size, the back's the same size. The doors, well, I doubt a goblin could even get through these little doors. I've had to squish them to make them, say, to fit the RC car that I've got, which you may have seen in the previous video where I did a little collaboration with someone and messed about with the vehicle. Enjoyed it that much that I say I fancied doing it again. But this time, last time I printed everything out in resin. And as much as I did sort of cut bits out, hollow bits, the resin was just very heavy. So this vehicle it's about 12 inches long by about 6 inches wide. So it's quite a big thing. And the resin was just so heavy. So this time I was going to use a filament to sort of print the thing out with. And thankfully, Inslogic sent me some filament to try out. So again, I'll leave links down below to Inslogic. So a big shout out and thank you to them for sending me the filament, as it did mean, well, I can print stuff out. So I've only recently getting into FDM printers, but I have to admit, I absolutely love them. Obviously, printing miniatures, I don't think I'd ever do that. But for printing bigger bits and pieces, yeah, definitely. Because it is so much lighter, so much tougher, and just works really well. So as you can see, I'm using my Bambulab A1 printer. Absolutely love this thing. Had this for about 2 months, I reckon now. And yeah, I have to admit, this is why I absolutely love the FDM printers now. This printer is my favorite printer to use. And I say, with the filament, it's definitely robust, tough, and well, you can make absolutely all sorts with it. So the prints can take quite a while to print. So this one was about 19 hours for the front bit. So as you can see, yeah, I was doing some work, went to bed, woke up, did some more work, and yeah, it was just printing away. Well, obviously, I say work, I'm sitting there messing about, painting, making things, and just being a big kid in general. But there we go, so this thing's come off. The one thing, obviously, I need to get used to with these kind of printers, and that is the supports on these. Obviously, yeah, I've not really done anything with the supports. I let the the software do the supports. But obviously, it does an absolute ton of the things. So I need to sort of work out how to sort of make less supports and the best way of obviously supporting things. Obviously, it's come out really, really well. But the issue I had was getting the supports off. I say the filament is super strong, very robust, and unlike resin supports that can just be brittle and snap off, this stuff, yeah, I mean, I thought I'd just be able to peel it off real easy. But it did take a lot longer than I expected, and I say it's probably because I've got more supports than I probably needed, as in they're quite condensed. I probably could have had them a bit more expanded out, and yeah, there might be a better way to orientate things. I say I'm very new to filament printers. I've only done a few sort of bits and pieces of them. Typically, most of the things I've done so far have been like floor tiles, so they have been literally flat, and I've not needed supports. Whereas this, obviously, this is speeded up rather a lot. But yeah, I was wrestling with this. It was a case of, well, let's just get some brute force in there. Say, 'cause this stuff, it really is that tough. that yeah, after a while you start thinking, yeah, I'm not going to snap anything because this thing, this thing is super robust, and even the supports are putting up quite a fight. But good old perseverance, and just keep going and going and going, and eventually it all comes off. Again, though, there is a lot of wasted material. I can't remember how much it was because it obviously it does show you how much material is used for the item you're printing, as well as how much is used for the supports. So I'm definitely have to be well, start messing about with the support settings. Do it a lot, sort of, well, a lot less. But the piece itself, yeah, very pleased with how that came out. Obviously, this is the back end. It came off a little bit easier, but I think that's more because I knew that I could be a bit rougher with this thing, and really just, well, yank it off. Excuse the expression there, but yeah, pull it like you stole it, I guess. But yeah, so eventually everything came off. So everything printed really well. Obviously, all printed in parts because, well, the printer's big, but obviously this is even bigger. And then glued together. I've got magnets in there as well because I wasn't too sure I was going to have this so I could actually take it apart or not. But then I thought the way I'm going to drive this around, it's going to just roll and crash. So yeah, I end up gluing everything. Printed all the other bits and pieces. Again, this is where I love Mr. Modulook stuff. So honestly, there's so many bits you can print off to custom whatever kind of vehicle you're making. And say even with all the miniatures as well, they're all very customizable, which is just great. So for this vehicle, rather than making little figures to go in it, initially I'm just going to have the grills over the side. That was me shaking it to sort of say, yeah, this is, I mean, it's got weight to it, but compared to resin, yeah, this is so much lighter. So even though this is done in red filament, I'm still going to spray it with some red primer by the Colour Forge there. Again, all links down below, guys, to everything I use in this channel. Some of the links are affiliate links. Doesn't mean you'll pay any more. I just get a few pence back from it. And some links are, well, just links. But yeah, everything I use, I will leave down below. So now it's primed. Obviously, I can paint it. I'm not going to paint too many colours on this because obviously the majority of this car is going to be red because red makes things go faster. So that's why I was really pleased about the red filament from Inslogic because obviously, yeah, this thing's going to be red. But primed it just so I could put other paint on it, which as you can see is exactly what I'm doing. Just a few bits here and there. Yes, with Inslogic, they were very kind and they sent me a shed load of printer sort of FDM filament stuff. So yeah, so I say a big shout out, thank you to them because it really does mean I can sort of mess about, try out more things. And I say the great stuff with this is it's very strong. So as I've got so many rolls here, I'm making a roll rack. Is that right? A roll rack, filament rack. You know what I mean? This thing. So this thing gets screwed on the wall. These bits slot in, and then I got some tubing to go across. And it's as simple as that. And there's my my filament racking for all these the wonderful sort of FDM filament that Inslogic sent me. So yeah, big shout out, thank you to them because I can use this now to make a shed load of stuff. So I do want to make a lot more sort of floor tiles and stuff. So that's going to come in very handy. So say only a few bits on this I wanted to paint. I'm going to paint the bumper there silver. So I've got this very metallic looking one, which is really cool because it's very shiny. That being said, obviously I don't like things to look nice, neat and shiny. So everything will get my usual dirty down rust look afterwards. Just because, yeah, I want this thing to look beaten and bad. So for the front, obviously going to do the engine in the silver, but it's a rather large lot of engine to do, considering my bottle is, well, this size. And it's probably about half full anyway, because I've used it quite a lot. So yeah, mask it all up, and then say the Colour Forge, they do a whole range of colours. Obviously the primers, but the great thing is you can prime in whatever sort of colour you want, really. So yeah, chucked on a lot of silver there. So that worked out really well. Obviously, masking, yeah, masking was all right. As in, it's not going to get any better than what I did. But yeah, it seems to have done the job. So as I say, everything looks nice and neat. Didn't really want that. But then I thought these grills, rather than trying to paint them, I took them off, reprinted some new ones, primed them or painted them in the silver sort of straight away. And then it was just easier then putting them on. And again, this filament stuff, this is why I love it. So it's robust. But you make it thin enough, it's then bendable. But bendable, but not snappable. Well, you would obviously be able to snap it if you well and truly gave it some welly. But yeah, again, filament printers. Guys, I used to hate them. It's a bit like me when painting miniatures. I used to hate it at the beginning. Now I love painting miniatures. Same with FDM printers. I used to hate them at the beginning because they were so much hard work. I was only ever sent a couple because I used to I used to decline offers of being sent printers or FDM printers just because there's a lot of setup in actually building part of the thing, then trying to level the bed. Then I'd get so many failed prints, it was untrue. Whereas now you can just get the printers straight out of the box, which is what I do with the Bambulab A1 printer. Literally got it out of the box, didn't even do any test prints, went straight into printing things, and yeah, everything came out perfectly. So as you can see, using the date down rust, but I only had a very little bit left at the bottom. So what I did was put some warm water in, give it a good old shake around, let it sort of stand and cool down. So now I'm kind of using the thing more as a wash than anything else. But obviously it does react differently with filament printer as opposed to resin stuff. Even though I put a primer on this, as you can see, yeah, I think it's kind of like sunk into the filament printer a little bit. But say it could be because I watered it down too much as well. I'm not too sure. Either way, I need to get some more dirty down rust because I love that stuff. So even though this hasn't come out quite how I expected it to, it still does look cool because it now looks like this thing's been sat in a garage for about 50 years gathering dust and dirt. And for me, yeah, that's good enough. Because say I don't like things to look too neat, too tidy. I like things to look a little bit rusty, weathered, beaten, bashed. Or in this case, yeah, it's been in a lockup for 50 years. So this is the RC Buggy that I've got. So it's a nice, big, chunky one. Good suspension on it. So that's why I wanted a chunky looking vehicle to go on it. I am going to print off some Orc figures to have hanging out of this at some stage. But say it took ages to print these bits off. So yeah, I wanted to sort of get it outside, have a bit of fun with it. Then my son went out. And yeah, drove this around. So again, filament printing, I love it because say this stuff, it bends so well, but it's very strong. As you can see, it's a thick bit, and that just secures it all together really, really well. And obviously, there's no way I could have done anything like that with the resin, which is why the resin one I made, when I did go outside of it, the top kept coming off because I couldn't find a good way of securing it. Whereas this, yeah, it's on there like anything. So let's take it outside and see what happens with it. And there we go, the best RC Orc buggy out there. Although, to be fair, there's no orcs in it. So you just have to use your imagination. Yeah, there are orcs in it, and this is an Orc buggy. Well, I got it from Mr. Modular, so that's my link to it being an Orc buggy, and I love it. So yeah, the thing works really well. Obviously, when I took it through the water at the end there, it did stop working for a little bit, so I had to let it dry in the sun. But then after a while, yeah, it's working again, and I say I absolutely love it. Yeah, I am a big kid. I am in my late 50s, but who cares? So there we go. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want to see me make something else for this. So the RC vehicle, I can obviously make other sort of chassis bodies, which I probably will do, just because it's so much fun. Absolutely love it. But yeah, let me know what you might want to see me make next with it. Okay, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments down below. All that fun stuff. Another video coming up on the screen. Give that a click. See more of what I do. You guys all take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.